Well, it's the end of the year and what a year it's been. We've had GameStops, we've had meme coins. It's probably been one of the craziest years we've ever seen in investing. And now we've reached the end of the year, it's the perfect time to look at your investment plan and look at your goals for 2022 and look at what you're trying to achieve. Today I'm going to go through my plan, talk about what my goals are and how I'm going to get there. And then the good thing is we can look back on this in 12 months time and see if I've hit them or if I've missed the mark. And what I'd really encourage you guys to do at the same time is perhaps make your own goals. Why not just write down on a piece of paper at the same time what your goals are for each of these? And then when I look back at it next year, you can compare yours too. Some of my targets are going to be quite ambitious, but I think you've got to aim big and have a good target in mind. But at the same time, I'm going to be realistic. Before we start, I have to give a quick shout out to our sponsor of today's video, which is CoinJar. CoinJar is a place that I've been using to buy cryptocurrency for the past 6 months. Since all the hassle with Binance, it's been really nice to just be able to buy crypto without any issues. They've got a flat 1% fee and it's free to deposit money and withdraw it if you use bank transfer. And because they're on the FCA register, I've not had any problems with depositing money, which was a really nice change. They've got a great selection of cryptos available. They've just announced that they're adding 7 more, including the popular Shiba Inu for all of you Shiba fans. They're aiming to have the top 25 cryptocurrencies on there by the end of February. Not to mention they have a crypto card launching soon in the UK and a really nice reward system. In fact, the points I've generated have pretty much covered all of my transfer fees so far. It's by far the simplest way to buy and sell cryptocurrency that I found in the UK. If you want to check them out, I will leave a link down below in the description. And if you do have any questions about them, let me know in the comments down below. I've personally been using them for the past 6 months, so I can probably answer any questions that you might have. So back to my goals. So my goals for 2022 are going to be broken down into 4 categories. The first is going to be cryptocurrency. So I'm going to talk about my crypto holdings, what my plans are, what I'm earning from staking, what projects I'm in, and what I'm going to be doing in the next year. Then I'm going to look at investing, which is going to cover my 3 investment accounts, my lifetime ISA, my ISA, and my growth portfolio. I'm then going to talk about property, which is probably going to be the biggest life change for me in the next year, which is buying another property. And then finally, I'm going to talk about YouTube, what my plans are with this channel, what my goals are, and what I'm trying to achieve. So with that being said, let's dive straight into the first one, which is cryptocurrency. So my cryptocurrency view did shift a bit in this year. I moved away from the traditional format of just holding cryptocurrency, and I tried a load of different projects and I staked my cryptocurrency. So I actually used a platform called Anchor and I have about $20,000 invested in it and I'm getting 19.5% return, which is just phenomenal returns for doing nothing, and that's guaranteed. The downside of this, of course, if that network was to be hacked, I could lose that money, so it is quite high risk. I don't think that is going to happen, but it's a short-term investment for me. I wouldn't plan on holding this for the next 20 years. I've also got about $14,000 between various cryptocurrency projects. There's crypto DAOs and there's nodes. Now these projects are all kind of intended to bring people investing in a new kind of cryptocurrency. The node's a little bit differently and it tries to use your money to generate more money, but that's a whole nother video. Now while these projects have been really good, I've invested in Roam, Spartacus, Titano and Ring, just to name a few. They are really high risk, and this is what I've realized. There's a really great high percent return, so you might see 100,000%, but because the price is going down, it doesn't really matter what the percent is. You're only going to get that crazy return and that crazy amount back if the price remained the same, which it's pretty much never going to do, unless more and more people join the projects. So if you join early enough, you can get out and take a nice project like I did with Wonderland, but the people who are still in Wonderland are probably not thinking the same thing. The whole market on the whole has kind of tanked. It'll hopefully come back up in the new year. On some I've made $1,000, $500, a few $100s. On others I have lost. So it's not something I would recommend to everyday people. But it is an awful lot of fun, which is what I like. But my strategy for 2022 is going to change. So my plan at the moment for the new year, I'm going to invest $10,000. I'm going to invest that into 5 to 10 cryptocurrencies, which are going to be very stable and ones I think are going to be big ones in the future. So that's going to be a Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I'm going to finalize that list shortly. What I'm then going to do is invest $200 per week into it. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I want a dollar cost average into the market. So instead of your traditional where you might buy here and then wait for it to go up and down like a yo-yo all year, I'm going to buy at various points every single week, and then hopefully I will end up with a much straighter, solid line. And that'll be really interesting to see how that works. I'm also going to take that investment, I'm going to stake it every single week. So what that means is I'm going to try and get 4 to 20% return just in places holding it. So imagine if I get 4 to 20% plus the increase in the market over the year, it could be a really fantastic strategy. So I'm currently just kind of finalizing that, analyzing all the places to buy and the best rates. And then in the next week or so, I will be posting my complete strategy so you can copy it. So if you're not already, do subscribe because that one is going to be good. What this doesn't mention is I'm also going to be investing in some altcoins along the way, as well as probably trying a load of other different projects. One thing I want to try is an app called Stoic, which automatically trades your cryptocurrency for you. That one I'll also be posting a video on soon, so just stay tuned. I've got so many ideas of things coming your way. And that pretty much sums up where I'm at with cryptocurrency at the moment. I've got a couple of other holdings, and I think in total I've probably got about $40,000 in various places on different crypto platforms. So that's my crypto. Let's move on to my big one, which is my investing. So within my investing, I've got various different investments. The first one, which will be the first thing I'm doing in the new tax year, will be my lifetime ISA. So I've currently got 5,000 in there. That's 4,000 plus the 1,000 government bonus. And in the new year, I'm aiming to get that to 10k, which I'll just add another 4k plus the 1k bonus. It'd be nice if that makes a bit of return as well. Maybe I might make 10% in there. So maybe let's say 11k in the new year. Now my ISA, which has just been incredible over the past 2 years. I mean, last year I had 65,000 in the account, which is mind blowing to think today I'm at 124,000. Now in the next year, I'm aiming to kind of put another 16,000 in, which is the allowance I'll have after depositing into the lifetime ISA. So that'll get me to 140k kind of guaranteed. I would then really like to make maybe 10k, which is kind of very realistic, I hope. So I'm hoping to make about 7.5%. Now, that doesn't sound kind of astronomical. It's not kind of one of these moonshots, and I'm not going to make a fortune and be a forex trader, but it's very realistic, and it's kind of above the returns that you should expect from the market. And even if I do that, if I get 7.5% every single year, by the age of 48, I should have an account which is worth $1 million between my lifetime ISA and my normal investment account. So at that point, I could retire if I wanted to, but realistic, I could probably do it even sooner if I really wanted to. I don't really think I'm going to need $1 million. But as I say, I've got no plans to retire so far. I really love my job, kind of web design and helping people and building these cool projects, and I enjoy YouTube. So at the moment, I really count myself to be quite lucky. Now, the last thing on my list, which I haven't gone into so far, is my growth portfolio. Now that is a new portfolio I'm starting, which I'm investing everything I make from YouTube into that series, which I thought would be a really good challenge to just see how far I could get with YouTube in general. So far that account is currently at 3,000. I need to make my first video on that. I posted in the Patreon kind of which companies I bought so far, so that video will be coming in the next coming weeks. And my goal with that series is probably about 100k to 150k. And the reason for that is what I really want to do, which I again will cover in more detail later, is I want to generate a profit of probably around £12,300, which is my capital gains tax, which I can make without paying tax. And I also would really like to make 2k in dividends. So that is 14.5k a year I can make every year tax-free that's not within an ISA. And the goal with that would be that it gives me flexibility. So I could either take my ISA profit plus this profit every single year, or I could use that money and automatically fill my ISA every year, which sounds a really nice option because I've pretty much been saving about £20,000 a year over the past 7 to 8 years. But it's not that hard because I don't really spend an awful lot of money. Now there is one huge thing that could kind of derail my whole plan, is that's the fact that this earnings will probably put me into the higher tax bracket. Now at the moment the tax relief I would get would be about 20%, but if I get into the higher bracket it turns into 40% tax relief. So at the moment it's kind of up and down whether it's worth being in a SIPP or whether it's worth being in an ISA. There's kind of pros and cons of each approach, but for me, I kind of want the flexibility of being able to withdraw my ISA whenever I want. And that did kind of come out of fear that if anything happened to my business, I would have that safety net to fall onto, which I don't think I'll ever need, but it's there if I need it. And I've always kind of just bordered under that bracket just to keep my tax as low as possible. But if I do get into that area, then it's going to make more sense to put this within a SIPP. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm playing it by ear with my accountant, and we're going to see what position we're in. That money may have to go within a SIPP. But then again, that could also hopefully be a crypto portfolio by then if I can get it up to that amount. Because of course, I can't hold cryptocurrency within a tax-free wrapper. So that's my investing. Moving on to my house, which is probably going to be a huge life change this year, and this is probably the thing that keeps me up at night more than anything, and that is kind of house, where we want to be, what I'm going to buy, and just what I'm going to do in general, which is a huge commitment. After owning a house before and going through the whole process, it's such a long process, applying for a mortgage, finding the right house, selling the house. It actually took me about 18 months to sell my house, and then in the end it kind of went for lower than I expected, and the market has just shot up ridiculously since then. So my pros and cons for that: I'm in a cheap house now, but I would like to live in a bigger house, but it's a pro and con. I'm quite easily living in a cheap house beneath my means, but at the same time I would like to live in a bigger house because it is quality of life, especially for me. You might not realize this, you might think I'm out and about like a crazy person, but I actually am in the house most days between, I would say, 14 to 15 hours per day. Maybe I'm out for an hour going for a run, or I go to the gym, or I might go to the supermarket, but for the majority of the time I'm in the house, especially at the moment when I'm not out meeting clients. It's a lot of time in one house. So it's almost important to buy the right house in the right kind of location. I'd love to be back maybe in the Welsh Valleys and have a nice view and look out the window and just see green would be fantastic. But I would also like a house that I could expand and make into my dream house, which I don't know if I'll find at the moment, but you never know. And it also comes down to price, how much we can borrow, and all of that good stuff. But there are cons against us at the moment. You've got things like you've got your inflation, interest rates are probably going to be going up, and the price of houses in general has probably gone up 20%. I can't believe, even looking at properties at the moment, just how much these houses are going for, which also makes it very hard to justify buying some of these properties in the first place. I'm kind of crossing my fingers at the moment, hoping in the new year there's going to be something back on to help with stamp duty or something to make houses more affordable, but I can't see it because houses are just selling so quickly. I've also, of course, got the option we could go overseas. I mean, my partner's a teacher. She could teach pretty much anywhere, and I can work from anywhere. Of course, setting up a YouTube studio in one of these places would be a bit harder, but it is achievable. My other option is to rent, because really I could probably make more on the stock market than I could in rent, and that would go a long way to covering the cost. But again, rent has gone absolutely ridiculous. I wish I would have kept my house and rented it out, although the tax efficiency just didn't really work out. So with that one, I'm looking to get a deposit. At the moment, I've got about 60k in cash outside of my investments, but it will probably be about 100k deposit or something I want to put on that property. But really, the least deposit I can put and the more money I can pile into investments, the better. And of course, what's made this really hard as well is at the moment, kind of holding cash with inflation and all these things, it's a nightmare. But at the same time, I can't afford to take much of a risk if I was going to buy a property in, say, the next 3 months. So moving on to the fun one, which is YouTube. So YouTube has been amazing this year. We're at 5,400 subscribers today, which is just incredible. It's been a long, hard slog to get to that point, don't get me wrong, but we're here and I'm really, really happy. So I might do an update and fill you guys in on everything I've made so far from this, because I think that's also really interesting. But at the moment, I would like to go from our kind of 5.4k to maybe 10k by the end of next year on the low end, or 20k on the high end. And we'll just see how successful that is. It depends what kind of content I make, if I can find the right kind of content that will push the channel, because really that's what it's all about, making killer content that people want to watch video after video. And the anxiety I have about picking what videos to make, trust me, it's a lot. And at times I have contemplated whether it's worth it, but some of the videos I get from you guys and you say I've helped you start investing really just make my day, and it makes the whole thing worthwhile. Patreon we started last month, which has gone really nice so far. We've actually got £120 per month, which is unbelievable, so thank you so much to you guys who've signed up so far. I would love to get that up to around 500 per month, just as a little extra earner, which would go some way to help supporting the channel. I've actually still got the early bird special up at the moment, so it is half price. It's only £5 per month. And within that, you get my stock portfolio updates when I buy, when I sell, and everything I'm doing. And also, of course, you help support this channel. At the end of the month, I'm actually going to cut the early bird off, so If you want to get in for £5 a month, now is probably the cheapest it's ever going to be. The next one is my ad revenue, which is the ads I get on this video. Currently, I kind of make about £300 a month, which is fantastic, but I have to say it has been quite stagnant. I would love to get that up to a point where I could make about £1,000 per month, which would go a huge way into supporting the channel and making this more viable for me. And this is kind of what all of this is about. It's not that I'm crazy and trying to dig after money, but I want to make it more viable to spend more time making videos. Because at the moment I kind of got work that I could be doing for a lot more money, but instead I'm choosing to make these videos, which I guess is a frustrating part, because when people think you're just after money, really you're not at all. In fact, I'm probably losing money by doing this in compared to my business. But luckily I've designed my business in a way that I can kind of spend time focusing on this while still maintaining my customer satisfaction. So luckily, I've designed my business in a really good way. Sponsors are the next thing. You've seen a sponsor on this video, and I'm going to try and get more sponsors. I've had a chat with some really nice sponsors, which will be coming soon, and that just really helps me support the channel and brings in some extra income. With these, I've actually been super selective. There's so many that I turn down and I just won't do because they're just useless. As you can imagine, every kind of cryptocurrency coming out, they want me to push and promote it and get you guys to buy it, and I'm just not doing it. Affiliate is also where I get a small cut of kind of the links down below. If you guys sign up, I might get £5 or a couple of pound here and there. In fact, that growth series, 2,000 of the 3,000 is actually free shares that I've got from people signing up, which has been phenomenal. But unfortunately, Freetrade has capped it now at 10 per month. So I've gone from earning maybe £200 or £300 a month to about £10 or £20 a month if I'm lucky. From my point of view, I kind of need to partner with someone that I'm going to use that will also support me and help me grow the channel. So we'll just see how that one goes. I'm exploring my options, I'm talking to other providers, and I'm just weighing up my options on who I'm going to use. I've got some fantastic relationships so far, but if I can grow those both to around 1,000 a month, that would go a huge way to supporting it. So in total, I'm looking to aim for about 3,500 per month by the end of next year. Seems crazy at this point, but why not aim for it? We'll just see how that goes. And with that, what I really want to do is kind of reinvest back into the channel. I would love to find an editor so I could just make more content, because editing these videos takes absolutely ages. I would generally spend up to around 10 hours editing each and every video. I would also this year really like to create a course, maybe a beginner investing course, a value investing course, but what I always really wanted to do was create a course about web design, because I've kind of learnt web design myself from scratch. I turn over about 6 figures a year, which seems crazy that I've managed to build this up, but I think loads of people could do this, and it's so much better than working kind of a 9 to 5 somewhere, in my opinion. So I'd really like to make a course on that, and that's something that I might focus on in the new year if I get the time. I also want to reinvest in equipment. At the moment, I need a new machine, which is probably going to cost me about £5,000, but luckily my main business also needs the machine, so I'll save £1,000 in VAT, I'll save the tax relief, and it's an expense. So I'm going to be reinvesting into the channel. I'm not taking any income at all from YouTube whatsoever, so don't ever think I'm kind of just rinsing everybody and I'm trying to make a load of money. I'm investing everything back into my new series, which hopefully one day will make me some money, but I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. And in that one, I'm going to buy individual shares, and in the main one, I'm probably going to move maybe towards some more funds and some more long-term options. It's been going well so far with the growth one, so we'll just see how that pans out. So let's look at my totals all together. So cryptocurrency by the end of next year, I'm wanting to have at least a $10,000 portfolio. Hopefully that'll be even higher, maybe 20,000. And that's because I'm probably going to take some of my original cryptocurrency investments, like my money in Anchor and all that kind of stuff. That's probably going to go out and go into my house deposit to get that back up to 100k. My ISA, including my lifetime ISA and my main account, I'm aiming for around 160,000. My growth one, although I'd love to get to 100k, being realistic, if I could get to 20k in the next year, that would be a really great milestone. I'm remembering it's just a marathon, it's not a sprint, so that'd be a really nice milestone. And if I could get this channel making £3,500 per month, that would go a huge amount of the way to making it all a bit more viable, and also give me some money to get some extra help. So in total, in all my investment accounts by the end of next year, I'm hoping for between 180 to £200,000. Plus I'd like to have a house if I go down that route, and that would be at the age of 33, which still gives me a long way to go, and we'll see where I'm at when I'm maybe 40. I think it'll be really interesting to track this each and every year and just see how things progress. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys found this really useful. For me, it's really useful to get this all off my chest, share with you guys, but do let me know down below, what are your guys' goals? What are you aiming for in the next year? Where are you at now? It'll be really interesting to see, and then we can all check in next year and see if you hit those goals or not. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this useful and appreciate the transparency, do drop that like button because it helps this video so much. Thanks for all your support this year, and here is to 2022, and let's make some gains.
I just wanna see the light.